Height. Long. We got to play here. I used to play the game. Not well. We got a little action here as the ball came over to us. Like Stadium Junior. Now we can take it later. Yeah, well, Randy, if I haven't said it, it's good to have you here. All this technology is just all great to me, and I'm glad that you were here. Yeah, we're doing all these games, aren't we? So you'll be hearing Brandon with probably every game. You'll be hearing Garrett, Kyle, and Lori all the way to the rack, and good by Hannah Spencer. She's got 4 points. She steps into the passing lane, runs up, and we got another play here. And we're going to have another timeout by the Thetford coach. 5:23 left. This is the CBC Sports .net production. I'm John Bowles, Randy Roberts. We'll be back in 1 minute. A flurry of points here in a rather running and gunning style. Both coaches going to the timeout early to try to get their players settled down. But I spoke to the Thetford coach, and he said that they were concentrating on D, Brandon, too. But Williamstown having a little hard time getting back on D here in transition. They're going to have to solve that, or it could be a long night.
Right you are, John. And out of the timeout for Thetford, got to give you some confidence to break the Williamstown press as they did there, converting the quick transition bucket and then almost forcing the turnover.
Right.
Here they are back at the other end trying to get another bucket in. But either way, the timeout seemed to work well so far for the Panthers.
Okay, underneath, up and good is Natalie Perry. Nice little feed underneath. And they're finding the holes in that defense, Brandon.
Absolutely. That timeout again, just as we would just discuss, John, paying immediate dividends for the Panthers. They were able to settle in, find some good looks underneath the basket, and now we have a tie ball game after it looked like Williamstown was trying to create some separation here in the early going.
Yeah. Well, we got for Thetford over on the wing, foul line extended right, all the way in goes Wilmot. She goes up and she's fouled. Very active on offense, give and go, driving to the hoop. Both teams are doing good stuff.
Strong take by Wilmot there. She just missed a layup on the previous possession before the Panthers were able to get a layup in for 2 to tie the game. So I like her intensity and activity so far on the offensive end for the Panthers.
Yeah, and both coaches were stressing frustration with the length of time they had before the season started. Both of them expressed, frustration because they weren't able to really incorporate anything of an offense with injuries, and you didn't have they didn't have very many practices together before they have opening night.
And opening night, it's always tough. Everybody's chomping at the bit, wants to get on the court, want to go out and make an impact. So you're going to see some plays that maybe, running on adrenaline you wouldn't otherwise see from teams,
right,
especially in the early going. Once these teams settle in, I'm sure both of them will be just fine. We got a long season ahead. It's early. It's exciting. Everybody's happy to be here. We're in for a great night, John. 2
team fouls for Thetford already, Brandon, and we got to remember that the new rule is in effect, where 5 fouls in a quarter, the 6th one shoots 2 shots. But they're zeroed out at the end of each quarter, correct?
Right you are, John. That will be interesting and something to pay attention to all evening, as Thetford is, essentially, we don't have a perfect half of 5 in a quarter, but now they are over the halfway mark with, Williamstown picking up their second foul there. Both teams at 2 team fouls.
Yeah.
And just about as close to halfway as they can get to be in the bonus already here in this first quarter.
Yeah. At the line is Natalie Perry for the Thetford Panthers. She's got 2 shots. First one's up, no good. She'll have a second one. 3:53 left. Thetford up 7-5. The referees, Dave Palmer and Christopher Saunders, they're earning their money tonight, Brandon, because both these teams are running.
Yes, they are, and here we go again right away off of the missed free throw. A quick opportunity to try and transition for the Blue Devils, unable to convert as they turn the ball over out of bounds. But again, looking to keep that high intensity, high tempo so far are the Blue Devils.
Right. Up top to Snyder. Snyder, gets her own pass. Rebound up by Snyder, no good. And we'll have another team foul on Williamstown.
Excellent presence on the offensive glass by the Panthers.
Yeah.
Just in the first 5 minutes of this game. I believe that was 2 rebounds consecutively for Snyder here, and she is rewarded stepping to the free throw line with a chance at 2 points for the Panthers.
Yeah, if you just joined us, Williamstown eked out a victory in the JV game, and they won by 14 points in a really hard-fought game by both teams. It was back and forth right to the very end. Natalie Snyder at the line, shooting the second half of a 2-shot violation. Dips. Up. No good. Rebound, Bellevue. Natalie Bellevue was questionable for tonight's game. She's fighting an inch at a time.
And that's a great thing, I think, especially early season, John, to try and work your players in. Make sure you build up that chemistry. Again, it's early. You're working out the kinks, dusting off the cobwebs, so to speak. So even those few minutes that she's able to get out on the court are going to be valuable and bode well going forward.
Yeah. Turnover on Spencer. It'll be Thetford ball. 3:07. Williamstown leading or trailing by a point.
Adding on to that, John, if I may, Bellevue's the only senior on this roster for the Blue Devils, so her leadership out there on the court is going to be paramount.
He's got, I think he's got 3 or 4 sophomores. I haven't looked at the thing, but he's got 4 sophomores, I believe, and so they're going to be good for a little while as Thurman Wilder figures this thing out here.
Right you are, John. A roster of 4 sophomores, 4 juniors, a freshman, and then Bellevue, the lone senior on this squad this season.
Ball's taken away by Wilmot. Wilmot gets the ball up across the timeline to Osgood. Osgood dribbles in, no good. Tries to get her own rebound. Picked up by Snyder. Long 3, no good. Bellevue. Oh, we're going to have another foul.
Snyder's a bit bewildered on that one. Expression on her face as she strides away.
Yeah, a little frustration.
Thought she was in clean, trying to swipe the ball away from Bellevue.
Pike stepping out, French stepping in for Williamstown. Good minutes by Olivia Pike defensively. Ball comes across the timeline by Spencer. She goes left, looking for French. French gets the ball back to Spencer. Spencer loses control of it for a minute, gets up top, looks in, nothing there, but made a lot out of nothing. Bellevue in, no good, and she gets fouled. Natalie Bellevue going to the line for 2.
Excellent shot fake by Bellevue right there. Got her defender just off balance enough to get a step. Help side defense rotates over. Could not resist the temptation to block the shot. Picks up the foul. That will be the 4th team foul against the Panthers.
Yeah, we've watched Bellevue mature as a player when she was a freshman, and it's been kind of fun watching her progress. Misses the first one.
It's always fun when you're able to watch an athlete for their 4-year career at the high school level and see them mature and progress as a player on the court.
Yeah.
Bellevue being that lone senior, I think she'll have a lot to step up and shoulder this year for the Blue Devils. So far, seems up to the task.
And she ties it up. Oh, Williamstown with pressure. Perry across the timeline. Looked like there was a path all the way to the basket, but there wasn't. Dixon. Osgood loses it, and it's going to stay right there. 1:45 left, 7-7.
Both teams, John, very active defensively, throwing hands, throwing feet, anything to get in the way and try and disrupt the passing lanes. And just right on cue, a turnover forced by the Blue Devils, going quickly the other way.
Here comes Spencer. Off the front rim, rebounded by Bonnet. Oh, I thought that was going to be stolen by Spencer. Ooh, Spencer reaches. Very aggressive, very handsy on defense, Brandon. Is the Spencer girl. She's very, very active defensively. That's going to bode well for Williamstown this year.
Absolutely. I've loved her aggressiveness so far. John, you mentioned she scored 4 points already, 4 of the 7 Williamstown points in the game, including making the first bucket of the season for them. She's quick to get her shot and take the opportunities that have come to her this point. Again, you're going to need some balanced scoring from a younger team, somebody that's going to step up and carry the team at times, I'm sure, as they, especially in the early going, as they come together and feel each other out.
If you just joined us, 1:05 left. We are knotted at 7 in a defensive struggle here. I'm John Pellegrini with Brandon Walker and Garrett Sisley. And, oh, nice block by Spencer. She says, not in my paint. Nice block.
Unfortunately, when she went to swat the ball, a little bit of contact made.
Oh, they called a foul, didn't they?
Yeah,
I fell asleep on
I
that.
believe with the hip. And stepping to the line will be Perry for the Panthers, but it was an excellent effort by Spencer, and she did disrupt the shot, to say the least.
Right. At the line will be Natalie Perry. She'll be shooting 2. First one's up, good. Puts Thetford ahead, 8-7, with just under a minute left. This is a CVTsport.net production. We'll be having all the games, Brandon, for the Williamstown Blue Devils. Here comes French, gets to Pike, and she loses it. Turnover, Williamstown.
Love the quick change of emotions for the Panthers there. Perry swore she had just picked up a foul,
yeah,
and then immediately celebrated after, as she realized it was a travel call going against the Blue Devils.
It's an emotional game. Ooh, nice steal by Bellevue. Gets it up ahead. French, long 3, no good. Ooh, Bellevue over the top. No foul. Oh, on the wing comes Osgood. She pulls it out. Shoots a 3. Oh, look good, no good. Rebound, Wilmot. Gets it out to Bonnet. She picks up the loose ball over to Osgood, up no good. Goes out of bounds. It'll stay Thetford ball.
Big difference in the game so far, John, from what I've seen, has been the offensive rebounding of the Panthers. That has definitely kept them in it. Those second chance opportunities and pounding the ball down low into the post against the Blue Devils so far.
Yeah, Sam Wheatley just reported in for Williamstown. Ball comes off to Pike. Pike looking for somebody to pass it to, anybody, and it's intercepted by Bonnet, and that's going to conclude the first quarter with Thetford Panthers leading 8-7. We'll be right back.
Williamstown girls basketball on CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net is brought to you by Big Rock Landscaping, 802-793-6607, and by the Noel Johnson Insurance Company. Also by Shed Seamless Gutters, 802-272-0095.
Brandon Walker back here at Williamstown for this evening's matchup between the Panthers and the Blue Devils. I'd like to remind everyone that this is a CVTV 723 production. Tonight I'm joined by John Pellegrini. John is going to be bringing us the play-by-play as he has all of the first quarter. John, back over to you.
Yeah, we've had a back-and-forth game, Brandon. It couldn't ask for a better one. I got a feeling we're headed for a big old barn burner, but that remains to be seen. Both coaches got to be happy with what they're seeing, Brandon, wouldn't you say?
I would have to think so. You know, first quarter of the season, definitely trying to feel out how your team is going to progress and work together in the early going. You know, it's a close game. The only thing for Williamstown I think they would want to work on is that offensive rebounding of the Panthers. You know, they got to box out down low. But overall, yes, I like the aggressiveness. I like the way they're trying to play with pace and get ahead. Now it's just a matter of settling in, knocking down some shots. Yeah,
they got caught back on transition with their transition defense. They've been caught a few times, and Thetford has converted on easy layups. Okay, it's going to be Thetford ball. Ball's lobbed into Brooks. She takes it back court, gets it over to Bonnet. Bonnet to Wilmot. Wilmot gets it in, throws it out of bounds. It's going to be Williamstown ball.
On the flip side of that script, you know, I was just commenting on the Blue Devils could improve their rebounding defensively. Their defensive pressure when they have been set up in their defense has been extremely impressive to this point, forcing a lot of turnovers and shots that are not optimal for the Panthers in the early going.
Yeah, Bellevue giving them a lot of minutes here. They weren't sure if she was going to be able to go because of an injury. It's funny to see the fouls zeroed out, Brandon. Is this the first year they've done that?
This is the first year they have done so, yes.
Yeah, because
that'll take some getting used to.
It sure will. Why do you think that they're doing that?
I believe it's to prevent, you know, say first quarter.
Yeah.
They ended up with 4 fouls on Williamstown. So, you know, 3 more and they would have been in the bonus for the rest of the entire first half.
Yeah.
I think it's to avoid those situations where a bunch of quick fouls, especially in the first quarter, mount for a team, and then, you know, you have at least a full quarter of one team in the bonus. That's my assumption.
It would prevent you, though, in a tight game down the stretch. That would, I think it sort of works against the team that's losing.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be able to get to 1-1. They would immediately go to 2.
Yes.
And that would be frustrating.
I agree with you entirely, John. And it's one of those things that I think it's going to be factored into coaches' game plans. If it's a close game, especially in the fourth quarter, you're going to want to make sure you're near that foul limit so that you have the ability to stop the clock and a team can't run it as you're, you know, say at 2 fouls with a minute to go in play.
Right. Thetford back with the ball. Perry launches up the left-handed shot, no good. Rebound Thetford. Back up good by number 10, Ruth Wilmot. Here comes Williamstown back. Ball's lobbed over to Spencer. She launches up the 3. No good. Bellevue is fouled. Natalie Bellevue giving him some good minutes off the bench, and she's going to the line for 2. Both these coaches are first-year coaches in their first varsity games of the season tonight. Bellevue off the rim, no good. She'll have a second one. Rebecca Osgood comes in, substitution for Julia Bonat. Bellevue dips, no good, high off the rim. Picked up by Brooks. Brooks going the length of the court. On the wing to Osgood. She can't get the handle on it. It'll go back to Williamstown.
Some errant passes coming back to bite the Panthers to this point, John. There's a couple of opportunities they've had to push the ball and leak out, and they've just thrown the ball a little bit too far, leading their teammate, trickling out of bounds for the turnover, unfortunately.
Right.
For their sake.
So it'll be Williamstown ball, 6:34. Williamstown trailing 11-7. French gets the ball over to Spencer. Spencer up top to Bellevue. Bellevue looks in, nothing there. Gets it to Kennedy. And it's going to be a player control foul on Williamstown on the screen. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't, John. And I've actually got a question for you, knowing you've coached for many years, man in the sideline. If you're Coach Wilder right now, the Blue Devils in a bit of a rut right now. I think they've been at 7 points for, by an unofficial count, I would say a solid 5 minutes of play. How would you be settling your team in right now, trying to give them some confidence?
Well, what I would do first is I'd call a timeout again, and I would dial up a specific play that is designed to succeed. And then, I don't know, maybe I'd pull out of that press for a minute and try something else. They're getting beat long in that press consistently. Ball's up and good by Ashlyn Osgood. Twin sister Rebecca also plays on varsity.
I like that thought you had too, John, there, of finding a play that the team has rehearsed a million times, they're confident with, getting a bucket, seeing go through the hoop just is going to go miles for this team's confidence. Second quarter of play on the season, settling them in.
Across the timeline is French. French looking for Spencer. She gets a handoff. Left-handed. Oh, stolen by Perry and tied up. And it's going to be Williamstown ball. Williamstown trailing by 5. You wouldn't know they were behind. It seemed like an evenly matched game.
Yeah, it's definitely been an evenly matched game. A few buckets dropping for the Blue Devils, and we're talking about a tie ball game right now. So a few of these shots start falling, and it'll be feeling a whole lot different for both sides.
Bellevue can't get. Nearly stolen away by French. French with active hands. Real hustler on D.
The only thing I'm just now noticing, John, the Blue Devils going to have to be careful the rest of this quarter. They're already at 4 team fouls. Could be looking at a lot of bonus free throws for the Panthers here in the second quarter.
Let's see, there's another time they got caught long. Brooks looks in, gets it out to Wilmot. Wilmot to Perry. Perry dribbles left, goes right, gets it over to Wilmot. Osgood goes in, lays it off, no good. And Osgood gets fouled.
Excellent strong move in the paint, taking that quick step and finishing at the rim by Osgood there.
Yeah, that's 5 team fouls already. And we talked about that, 5:23 to go. That's a long time, especially playing the type of defense that Thurman Wilder's playing.
Yep, and with that full court pressure that we have seen from the Blue Devils, those active hands could come back to haunt them a little bit if they aren't able to avoid getting those reach fouls, especially all the way at the opposing end of the court.
Okay, a foul committed, I believe, by number 1, Natalie Perry. That'll only be the second team foul for Thetford. As we said, Williamstown, they're in the double bonus.
We don't have the grade of the Panthers on our rosters here this evening, John, but if I had to venture a guess, I would assume that Perry is a senior, if at very least a junior, an upperclassman for the Panthers with the confidence and composure she plays with.
Yeah, she really does. It's going to stay Thetford. 5:05 left. Thetford 15. Williamstown 7. Ball's lobbed in to Brooks. Brooks gets it over in the corner to Osgood. She goes up, no good. Rebound, Pierce. Pierce loses it and tied up, and looks like it's going to be stay Thetford ball.
Blue Devils are going to need to focus on packing this in. And right on cue, here is a timeout from Coach Wild. They're going to try to settle his team down, John.
Yeah, timeout, we'll take it. This is John Pellegrini, Brandon Walker, and we will be back in a minute. We're back here. I'm John Pellegrini with Brandon Walker, and we are nearly halfway through the second quarter of this game. Both teams coming out pressing, both teams coming out running. What the result has been is a lead by Thetford, 15-7 with 4:57 left. Ball's lobbed out to Osgood. She gets the ball over at the timeline. Long three, looked good by Brooks, but no good. And Pierce gets a rebound, gets it up to Spencer. Spencer fakes right, goes left. Oh, and puts in a nice little 12-footer. Hannah Spencer with a 12-footer pulls Williamstown within 6.
Excellent shot by Spencer. I love the confidence. The Blue Devils are going to need that. Again, they've gotten great looks tonight, John. They're just not yet falling. And if Spencer can get hot, I think it's going to bode well for them going forward in this game.
Yeah, they're on 2-3, aren't they?
Yeah, they switched it up from the high-pressure man-to-man defense they were running in the first.
Rebound taken by Pierce, gets it out to Spencer. Spencer across three-point territory, stops and launches. Bingo! Hannah Spencer with a 3-ball pulls Williamstown to within 3, and we got ourselves a game, Brandon.
John, dare I say Caitlin Clark-esque was that look from Spencer there, the way she was able to come
I know.
jump stop in transition and fire without hesitation. That was pretty.
Confident shooter.
Absolutely.
Confident shooter. You miss the next one, what do? You take the one after that.
As they say, shoot or shoot. You got to keep shooting. Spencer has, and now it's paying dividends with a quick 5 points for the Blue Devils, and now it's a one-possession game again, John.
Spencer comes across the timeline, looks left. Oh, nearly intercepted, but Pike gets it, holds it out to Bellevue. Bellevue goes right to the rack. Nice little 15-footer right on, and Williamstown pulls to within 1. Natalie Bellevue with a soft little jump shot.
Just needed to see a few go through the bucket, did the Blue Devils. Not only do they have some confidence now out there on the floor, I'm starting to hear the crowd get into it a little bit on the sidelines as well.
Both teams settling down a little bit. Oh, nice up and under by Snyder. Gets it out to Perry. Perry looks in, gets it on the wing to Wilmot. Long three from the balcony. And the ball's taken away by Pike. Spencer no good. She's going to be a shooting machine, I can tell. Oh, active on defense. Ball's on the wing.
Pierce trying to find Pike down low.
Yeah, they were.
Excellent.
Ball's taken away by Perry.
Excellent look, just cut off by Perry well for the Panthers there.
Oh, ball's dribbled off the foot and immediate foul. And oh. A little physical there, Brandon.
Yeah, getting a little bit scrappy there.
Yeah.
The Panthers some frustration now as their lead has dwindled now to a single point.
Yeah, no harm, no foul, but a little shove there at the end.
A little extracurricular, if you will, John. Actually, I've been thinking about this. The big turn I've seen from the Blue Devils out of that timeout by Coach Wilder. They went to that 2-3, packed it in down low. We haven't seen those offensive rebounds by the Panthers, and they have not had that interior presence that they did in the first quarter where they were so successful. So a great transition, great adjustment by the Blue Devils. Let's see how they can continue to close out this first half.
Ball's into Natalie Bellevue. Gets away from the double team. Spencer lines one up. Off the rim, no good. Ball's taken away by Brooks. Brooks dribbles at the length of the court, and it was knocked out by none other than Hannah Spencer.
Coach Wilder has to be pleased at this point now. His team has totally turned things around. What was it? Nearly silent gym for most of the first quarter has gotten some energy.
And considering it's opening night on a weeknight, we've got a pretty good crowd here, Brendan.
Absolutely, we have a pretty good crowd. Garrett and I were dodging many fans in the stands as we were trying to get set up for this evening's game. I am more than impressed by the turnout tonight.
Spencer very active on the boards too. Ball's taken away by Bonnet, I'm sorry. Up to Brooks. Brooks, a length of the court, lost by Snyder. Can't get the handle on it. It'll be Williamstown ball. 1:21 left. Williamstown trailing by just a point.
Those outlet passes by Thetford are really coming back to bite them. No pun intended there, John, as they have turned it over, I believe, by unofficial count at least 4 times, trying to connect by pushing the ball and lobbing it up over the top. Just not working for them. They might want to rethink that going forward.
It's there, but they're just not capitalizing with accuracy,
Exactly, yes.
Ball's up top on the wing, underneath to Snyder. Can't get the handle on it. Olivia Pike. Olivia Pike's very active on the defensive end.
Yes, she is.
Scrappy. That's the second time I've called her name.
And a handful of times I could think of trying to mix it up down low on the offensive end as well, getting that penetration for the Blue Devils. She has been making her mark on this game of late.
Ball's up top to Brooks. Brooks looks in. Oh, nice lob over the top. Shot missed by Wilmot. Stolen away, no good. Natalie Bellevue gets it knocked away. It'll be Williamstown ball. Both teams stuck on this number here, 15 and 14.
Yeah, the Blue Devils happy to be stuck on 14 and no longer on 7, though. I'm sure they'll take that.
They'll take that any day of the week.
Absolutely. 1-point game at the half. It's going to feel a lot better than an 8-point lead for the Panthers.
All by, looked like she traveled.
Might have gotten away with one there, but the Blue Devils will take it all day long.
Ball to Spencer, she launches a 3. Look good. Bellevue active on the rebound end, no good, taken away by Snyder. All the way over the top to Wilmot, and she misses at the buzzer. And we have 2 quarters in the books. We are at halftime with the score. Thetford 15, Williamstown 14. We will be back in 5.
This game is made possible by locally owned Packard Fuels. Located in East Montpelier, Vermont, Packard Fuels is a proud and generous supporter of local high school sports and community events. Packard Fuels, your provider of home heating oil and service with a friendly staff that greets you with a smile. Owned by Ellery Packard III, Packard Fuels, 802-262-3835. Packard Fuels, keeping you warm. Designs@gmail.com.
Good drinks, good food, good friends. And by Elite Real Estate Partners, part of the RE/MAX North Professionals Group, 802-402-4663.
This game is made possible by locally owned Packard Fuels. Located in East Montpelier, Vermont, Packard Fuels is a proud and generous supporter of local high school sports and community events. Packard Fuels, your provider of home heating oil and service with a friendly staff that greets you with a smile. Owned by Ellery Packard III, Packard Fuels, 802-262-3835. Packard Fuels, keeping you warm. Game was made possible by Tournament Specialties, Central Vermont's corporate and team apparel specialists. If you are looking for an updated look for your business or want the latest look for your sports team, Tournament Specialties is the place to contact. Along with their embroidery and ink decorating services, they also work with groups who want a storefront to sell their items. A great way to fundraise without upfront cost and risk. Email Jeff at Tournament Specialties to learn more. tournamentdesigns@gmail.com.
Granite, coffee, manufacturing, food.
It's not easy to make a living in Vermont. We really are the bank behind almost every industry. We care about businesses growing and succeeding because that success is our success. We're a billion-dollar bank made up of thousands of Vermont businesses.
Our customers make fresh coffee for great conversations and pull us out of the ditch on a cold, snowy night.
Wherever you are laying down your roots, taking a risk, building a dream, we're here.
This game is also made possible by Vermont Fellowship of Christian Athletes, established in 1954, a community working to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. You can find more information at fcavermont.org, and you can contact them by email at glennolson@fca.org.
This game is made possible by cvtv723.org. If you want to support live-streamed Spalding High School sports, please go to cvtv723.org and look for the Donate Now tab.
Williamstown girls basketball on cvtv723.org and cvtsport.net is brought to you by Big Rock Landscaping, 802-793-6607, and by the Noel Johnson Insurance Company. Also by Shed Seamless Gutters, 802-272-0095, and by the Pub on Main Street in Williamstown. Good drinks, good food, good friends. And by Elite Real Estate Partners, part of the RE/MAX North Professionals Group, 802-402-4663.
We're back here at halftime with a pretty good ball game, Brandon. It's a defensive battle with only 29 total points being scored. And right now, Williamstown's trailing 15-14. And but it's been a good game, an entertaining game to watch, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree with you entirely, John. I was going to remark and say that it was a back and forth affair in the first half. However, it was almost like a tale of two stories. The first quarter, the Panthers coming out strong, getting that late momentum, and then going up ahead by their largest margin, I believe at 15-8. Early in the second quarter, and then Williamstown able to claw their way all the way back, going on that 7-0 run to end the quarter and make it the 1-point deficit they have here at the half, John. So if you're Coach Wilder, got to be confident, got to be excited about what you saw to close out that first half.
Yeah, and in transition defense is the place, not to be negative, but the place that they seem to be suffering. The passes over the top that Thetford was able to complete and lay in for a layup were being overthrown and, errant. And so Williamstown crawled back into this game. Both coaches, feeling each other out. Both coaches got to be happy with what they see. They're new coaches. Thurman hasn't coached in 10 years, coming from Spalding, but he still has been active coaching in the Barry City League, in the Barry City BYSA and St. Monica's, and trying to build a program in Barry City.
Biggest thing, if I am Coach Wilder, want to keep that interior presence that they've had defensively since they went on this run. And for the Panthers, on the flip side of the script, need to reestablish that. They were really succeeding when they were getting those looks down low and then even corralling some offensive rebounds and getting those easy putback opportunities.
Yeah, Hannah Spencer lighting it up for the Blue Devils. She takes a few shots when they're open. Right now she's got the ball, comes across the timeline, gets it over to Pike. Pike looks in, over to Pierce, to Bellevue. Bellevue all the way to the rack, no good. Pike gets a rebound. Spencer drives right in, lays it in. Looked like she might have got fouled, Brandon, but must have been a good block. She turns the ball over. Thetford ball.
That might have been a bit of a penalty on her toughness and fighting through that, not reacting.
Ball's over in the corner, up top to Perry. Perry looks in, trying to move the ball. Stolen by French. French is going to go coast to coast, and she's going to get stripped, and the ball will stay with Williamstown.
Excellent hustle by Brooks there, chasing down the ball that she turned over herself. Gotta love that if you're the Panthers, able to take ownership, get back, stay focused, engage in the play, and allow your team to get back and set up to play defense here.
A nice recovery. Spencer feels her way in, gets it all the way out to Pierce. She can't make it go. Bellevue with a rebound. Looking out. Over to French. French, step back three, no good. Ball's taken away by Thetford. Comes a length to the courts, Perry. She gets the ball in to Osgood. No good. Oh, stolen away. Look what I've got, Julia French. Ball goes off to Pike. She gets it back to French. Williamstown setting up their offense. Comes to three-point line, looks to Spencer. Spencer looks in, nothing there. Williamstown being patient. Flashing cutter isn't there. Pierce turns. No good. And all the length of the court to Osgood, and she lays it in.
There's the riding the ship there are the Panthers, able to connect on that long outlet pass, getting the quick basket, and now the full court defensive pressure forcing the turnover. Gotta like what you're seeing if you're on the Panthers bench right now, John.
Yeah. Pressure is really, really tenacious by Thetford.
I think they would love to continue to find those outlet opportunities. Excellent penetration up and under for two is Perry there. Williamstown is packed back into that 2-3 that they transitioned to at the end of the first half that gave the Panthers fits. But Thetford now finding some holes in that zone and able to convert.
Yeah, right back is Hannah Spencer with a deuce. And we have a 3-point ball game.
Now back and forth we go, John, just like a yo-yo. Gotta love to see it here in the early stages of this 2024-2025 girls basketball season.
Courtney Bellevue with the rebound. Gets it off to French. French over to Pierce. Ooh, almost loses the handle on it. Gets it back to French. Little 15-footer. Bingo! To pull them within one.
Quick trigger by French, no hesitation. She has been looking for her shot and taking it all night. Again, this team has the talent, has the shooters to make an impact, and they are just finally starting to do so right now as they continue to shoot their way out of that slump.
Yeah, and they're not having any trouble with that zone either that Williamstown comes up in as Natalie Snyder gets a deuce off the glass for a 3-point lead.
This full court press by Thetford is a little bit confusing me at this point, John. I'm trying to decide if it's a 2-2 or almost a 1-3-1 press, but it seems a lot of pressure in the front court for the Panthers with only Snyder back deep to rescue them if the Blue Devils find the outlet.
And they're at times triple teaming the ball handler.
It seems to be more of a 2-2 matchup in the front court. Blue Devils able to break it down there.
Oh, nice weak side rebound by Natalie Bellevue. Really having herself a good game and being a factor out there. Oh, stolen by her sister, Courtney. She stops, goes left, and loses the ball. It'll stay Williamstown ball. 21-20, halfway through the third quarter. Brandon, we got ourselves a good one.
Yeah, we do, John. Talking about those kind of long swings we had in the first half, that's totally out the window now. Back and forth these teams go. This has been an entertaining first half of this third quarter.
Bellevue looks in. Dribbles in the corner, gets it up to Natalie. She fakes left, goes right. Oh, nice little jumper was deflected. Oh, stolen away by Spencer. She looks for some space. Can't get it, being ball hucked by Brooks. Ooh, missed by Spencer, and we'll have a tie-up, and it'll be Thetford's ball, I believe.
Curious what the Blue Devils will do here on the defensive end. That zone worked wonders in the first half, but the Panthers been able to pick it apart a little bit.
Well, once they've been able to establish baseline presence right there, that's when you've got the zone beat right there.
And great pass there by Thetford to find the cutting Snyder. Unable to convert there, but yeah, absolutely, John. That's definitely a halftime adjustment by Thetford.
Yeah.
That is immediately working in their favor. Now the question is, can Williamstown adjust and right the ship for themselves on the defensive end? You know, still coming away with an empty trip for the Panthers there, but however, as you said, finding that baseline presence has allowed them to open up the holes in that zone.
Right. 3:29 left. Williamstown trailing by a point. I don't know whether we have somebody that's bleeding or.
Yep, seeing a bit of blood on Brooks there.
Yeah.
The Panthers. She's going to go and get that taken care of on the sideline.
Now Thetford in his zone. No, I'm sorry. Oh, Bellevue, nice lob in. Rebound by Snyder. Snyder coming down the wing. Gets it over to Maxfield. Maxfield in the corner open. Osgood with a three, no good. Oh, nice little run to the hoop by number 12, Ashlyn Osgood, and she'll have two shots.
A little bit of a miscommunication there by the Blue Devils. Finding herself all alone at the top of the key was Rebecca Osgood. Almost wasn't sure what to do with herself at first, and then realized she had the wide open opportunity to take a look at the 3 ball. Unable to convert, but the ball bouncing the Panthers away and finding her sister Ashlyn, who now finds herself at the line.
First one's no good. Osgood will take it second. Dribbles, dips, looks good. Off, no good. Wheatley with the rebound. She gets it over to Spencer. I got a feeling Spencer's gonna show us some nights of just that. I got a feeling she really looks for her game, and she's a real aggressive player and a good player at that.
And she's not forcing anything right now either, John. Just
No,
taking what the defense has given her. She had that seam in the lane, took it, pulled up from short range, and knocked it down to give the Blue Devils their first lead in a long time.
Ball's over in the corner. Osgood loses it. 2:23 left in the third quarter. 22-21 Williamstown. Williamstown's ball as they look to extend this lead. Hannah Spencer goes left, gets the ball to Bellevue. Bellevue looks in, gets it to Natalie. Natalie fakes left, goes right. Good defense by Thetford, and Thurman Wilder will take a timeout. We'll take it too with 2:02 left in the third quarter here at Williamstown, with the Williamstown Blue Devils 22 and the Thetford Panthers 21. We'll be right back. We're back at Williamstown. I'm John Pellegrini here with Brandon Walker and Garrett Sisley, the team tonight for this CBTsport.net production. And it will be Williamstown ball with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Up 1 over the Thetford Panthers. Bellevue in trying, looking for Spencer. They sort of looked at the ball there. Neither one of them knew what to do with it. And it goes off. Oh, it's off Williamstown.
I think
Thetford's ball.
They went to the possession arrow on that one, John. It bounced out off the official and then caromed off of a Williamstown player. So they went to the possession arrow because it was touched by the official rather than the natural proceedings of the ball.
Williamstown with their 2-3 zone. Oh, they found a seam in it. No good. Oh, offensive rebound by Natalie Snyder gives Thetford the lead. Thetford with a full court presser now. Spencer getting trapped in the corner but dribbles around it. Goes all the way into the rack. No good. Can't get her own rebound, and it's Thetford off and running. It is Wilmot getting the ball over to Bonnet. All the way over in the corner to Wilmot. Back up top. Just looking for a seam in there. Looking for a seam. Not pulling the trigger on the 3.
John, I'm also just now realizing that the Panthers are doing this offensively without the likes of Perry and Brooks in the game. Finding that rhythm even without their 2 guards who have been mainstays for them up to this point.
Good read, Brandon. Falls over to Bellevue. 40 seconds left on the clock. She shoots, and it's good. Little ding around the rim by Natalie Bellevue gives Williamstown the lead as they set up in that 2-1-2 zone. Thetford back and forth, looking for a seam. Cross-court passes over to Wilmot, back up top. Ooh, oh, ball's taken away. And really defending that ball once nobody was going to take that ball from her.
No, absolutely not, John. I'd like to pick your brain here for a minute. If you're on the Panthers sideline, the Blue Devils appear to be daring them to shoot the 3-ball, but instead they're looking to get that inside look that we talked about. At what point do you tell your team, fire up a few of those?
I know, because what will happen is they'll collapse that zone in soon. I'm sure that's what Thurman Wilder has told them to.
Yeah.
Bellevue forcing that turnover. Just a second to play in the third quarter. Williamstown up 24-23. And we have a timeout by Thetford. We'll take it 2 with 1 second left. Williamstown 24, Thetford 23. You have some commercials to read, Brandon? We're going to sell some advertising here?
Absolutely, John. Just would like to remind everybody that this is a joint CVTV723.org and a CVTsport.net production that you are watching here this evening.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that we stayed here. Only 1 second left. We'll see. The ball is underneath the basket is it Thetford ball?
Yes, it is.
With under the basket, so they'll look for something really quick. Good move on the coach, calling on a play. Every possession is important in a basketball game.
Especially in a 1-point game that is about to enter the final quarter of play.
Gets it in the air, and that is a 3-pointer, I believe. Yes, it was a 2-pointer, right?
Yeah, that one just off the elbow there for Maxfield, I believe, for the Panthers. I don't believe it was how they drew it up, but it worked out in the end, John.
Yeah, it sure did. A good move by the coach from Thetford, calling a timeout with 1 second left and calling out a specific play like we talked about earlier that would work. So we got 3 in the books. We'll be back in 1 minute with the Williamstown Blue Devils trailing by 1 point, 25-24.
Williamstown girls basketball on CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net is brought to you by Big Rock Landscaping, 802-793-6607, and by the Noel Johnson Insurance Company. Also by Shed Seamless Gutters, 802-272-0095, and by the Pub on Main Street in Williamstown. Good drinks, good food, good friends. And by Elite Real Estate Partners, part of the RE/MAX North Professionals Group, 802-402-4663.
We're back for the fourth quarter of a literal barn burner here tonight with Williamstown trailing by a point. It'll be their ball. Ooh, lob all the way over and out of bounds. They were looking for the big girl underneath and just couldn't get the handle on it, so it turns right over to Thetford.
I like the thought and the aggression there from the Blue Devils. Unfortunately, unable to connect. Maybe not the way you want to come out and start the fourth quarter of play, but reminding the Panthers that you have that ability to throw that outlet pass as well.
Yeah, Coach Walu. Off goes Spencer. Up on the wing. Off the backboard, and good by Julia French. Oh, she grabbed the ball when, yeah.
Yep, just tipping the ball after it went through the basket was a member of the Blue Devils, and it was a delay of game warning on them by the officiating crew after that one.
And then probably not even an intentional move. The ball was there, and looking for the seam in that zone we talked about. Up top in to Snyder. Snyder in the post. Gets the ball to Osgood, and she travels with it.
Good pressure by the Blue Devils. I see they're extending on that baseline look coming out a little bit further and able to collapse more when they are looking to establish themselves in the interior down low in the post.
Much more active hands, too, on that zone than what we've seen.
Yeah.
I think it was a good move for him to go into that zone.
Yes, I agree. It's definitely paid dividends for them and made this an entirely different ball game. On this side of the court, I think I like the penetration that Spencer's been able to have, and they can keep going back to that to find
Osgood all the way in, can make it go. Bellevue off to her sister. And it'll stay Williamstown ball with 6:47 left. Williamstown up a point. Good ball game, Brandon, to have an opening night for us and them, and nice tight game back and forth.
It really is, John, because these tight games are great experience for teams, especially as you look later in the season.
Now, see, there was 3 players on her on that trap, so you were correct.
Excellent pressure by the Panthers.
Looks like we're going to have a Williamstown foul.
Only the first of the quarter. However, it is the third on Julia French. That is something I have not been doing the best keeping tabs on, seeing how we are at in foul trouble in terms of specific player fouls.
Here comes Kaylee Pike in for Olivia Pike. Ball's out to Osgood. Over in the corner. Oh, I thought she stepped out of bounds.
Tiptoeing that baseline was Perry for Thetford. Somehow able to stay in bounds.
Ball's up top. Long 3, no good. Oh, follows her own shot off the backboard. And good is number 10, Ruth Wilmot, and gives Thetford the lead. Now here comes the trap, and that works. Give and go. Ooh. Offensive foul called by Christopher Saunders, one of our refs. Good call there, Brandon.
Gotta love the intensity by Bellevue for the Blue Devils, willing to step in there, sacrifice the body, draw the offensive foul, or the player control foul, excuse me, and give the ball back to.
Yeah, she lost the handle on the ball and lost control.
Now we need to see if Williamstown can solve this full court press by Thetford. Been giving them fits these last couple of possessions.
Spencer, oh, there's the pick again. Underneath. Oh. Nice save.
Thanks, John.
Nice save, Brandon. He just saved $3,000 worth of radio equipment. We'll have a timeout. We'll take it two with 5:44 left. Williamstown trailing 27-26. We'll be right back.
Game was made possible by Tournament Specialties, Central Vermont's corporate and team apparel specialists. If you are looking for an updated look for your business or want the latest look for your sports team, Tournament Specialties is the place to contact. Along with their embroidery and ink decorating services, they also work with groups who want a storefront to sell their items. A great way to fundraise without upfront cost and risk. Email Jeff at Tournament Specialties to learn more. tournamentdesigns@gmail.com.
We're back here for the rest of this ball game. 5:44 left. Williamstown trailing 27-26 with the ball. Julia French brings it across the timeline, gets control of it, gets it up to Pike. Pike is fouled.
On this end of the court.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
John, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I've liked what I've seen when the ball's been in Spencer's hands. She's able to penetrate into the defense of the Panthers, either finding her own shot and finding her way to the rim or kicking it out and finding a teammate with a skip pass.
Right,
Bode well
right.
for them.
Bellevue to her sister Courtney. Gets the ball back. Whoops. Thought she had a little happy feet there. Long three, no good by French. Bellevue, ooh, a nice fake right going left. And we'll have a tie-up. Ooh.
Going hard to the floor there was Kaylee Pike, but you gotta love her aggressiveness, trying to battle for that loose ball down low, John.
Yes. Thetford in, gets the ball to Perry. Up to Snyder, all the way across to number 12, Osgood, and she puts Thetford up by 3. Ooh, Williamstown gonna take care of the ball. Just a swarming defense, Brandon, you know, never any rhyme nor reason for it.
Yeah, that defensive intensity has really ramped up for Thetford.
Yes.
And on the opposite side, I think Williamstown had a lot of success in the first half with their full court press. Now that's kind of been flipped around. The Panthers have absolutely stymied the Blue Devils when they have been able to set up that press, able to get those traps and force those long passes that they've been able to pick off in transition, and then able to break down the Williamstown full court press and convert on those outlet passes that they really struggled with in the first half, finding easy baskets now late in this fourth quarter.
Ball's in. The back of that zone is found by Ashlyn Osgood. And we're going to have a timeout. We'll take it to, well, it's an injury timeout. We'll take it to with 4:24 left. Williamstown trailing 31-26.
Granite, coffee, manufacturing, food.
It's not easy to make a living in Vermont. We really are the bank behind almost every industry. We care about businesses growing and succeeding because that success is our success. We're a billion-dollar bank made up of thousands of Vermont businesses.
Our customers make fresh coffee for great conversations and pull us out of the ditch on a cold, snowy night.
Wherever you are laying down your roots, taking a risk, building a dream, we're here.
We're back at Williamstown with a little over 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, with the Thetford Panthers up 31-26, and full court pressure has been the difference in this ball game because it was a tight one, 1 point either way, and the Thetford pressure has really stymied this Williamstown offense.
Yeah, between that full court press, John, that the Panthers have settled into and found success. Additionally, on the offensive end of the court, breaking down that 2-3 zone of the Blue Devils has been key in mounting this comeback and finding that success for Thetford.
Ooh. Olivia Pike turning around and finding a face full of a defender. Gets the turnover right there. Thetford ball. Ball comes into Brooks. Brooks gets it back. Gets inside to Dixon on the wing. Over to Brooks. Off the rim, no good by Dixon. Put back up, no good. Bellevue with a rebound. And now it looks like Thetford will pull back into their zone again.
Yeah, I'm thinking they set it up, John, on balls that they score, and then anytime they're out of a stoppage in play, looking like they're not trying to set it in transition necessarily.
Yeah, that was a travel.
Mine got going a bit quicker than the body could react, unfortunately, there for the Panthers, turning that ball over when they are looking to extend their lead and kind of take all wind out of the sails of the Blue Devils.
Right. Spencer checking back in after a little breather. On the wing, Kennedy gets it into Bellevue. Bellevue with a shot, no good. Oh, her sister gets a rebound, lays it up, no good. Back to the senior Bellevue, and she can't get the handle on it either. The coast to coast, no good. Bellevue with the rebound, getting it to Spencer. They're off to the races. Long pass intercepted and tapped out of bounds, and it'll stay Williamstown ball. 3:15, time's running out, Brandon.
Yeah, it is, John, but I love the court vision by Spencer to see her open teammate and look for that outlet pass. And on the other side of the ball, the court awareness by Snyder to tip that ball away. Both teams have extremely positive things that they can reflect on in this game. However, in the waning moments, it's been the Panthers who've been able to find that success and convert the opportunities they've had, and that's the difference in this game, John.
Ooh, jump ball. Thetford really turning up the intensity in the last part of the third quarter and this fourth quarter.
Yep, those successes that they found early in the first half, they've been able to rely on and establish this full court press that we're about to see. That has definitely been the difference in the game.
Full court pressure, Bellevue gets it back to Spencer. She'll be off. Double team, she's fouled. That's not a foul she needed to commit, you know?
No, and I'm thinking we just talked about
30
Spencer,
feet from the basket.
Spencer checking back into the game. My guess would be that Coach Wilder pulled her out, set her down for a minute, and discussed how they wanted to beat that full court press and that trap scenario, and it looks to have paid off for the Blue Devils.
Yeah. White ball off Thetford. 2:53 left. They need a hoop right here, Brandon.
Yeah, they do. This would be a huge basket for them. Have not scored for a couple of minutes here. Need to get the confidence back, settle themselves down, and a bucket will go a long way in doing so.
Oh, Bellevue with the shot, no good. She'll have 2 foul shots, so just what the doctor ordered, Brandon, is she can pull them within 3.
Yeah, Bellevue looks as composed as anyone out there on the court, not bothered by the moment. I'm also impressed, I will say, by the freshman, Leighton Kennedy, for the Blue Devils, playing big minutes in this game and handling the ball in a presser situation.
Yeah.
Doing extremely well.
I know. It's amazing what they're capable of doing at that age. Bellevue dips. First one, nothing but net. What do you think? We'll see pressure by Williamstown?
I do believe if this free throw is converted by Bellevue, they will immediately set up in a full court trap situation. I am incorrect, John.
No, as a matter of fact, they're playing man. Ooh, looked like a travel there, but I won't call it.
Looks like they shifted into a 2-1-2, extending that top of that zone out a little bit farther to provide pressure up top.
Long 3, no good. Ball comes into Brooks. Then to Snyder. No good. And Williamstown has a chance. 1 possession game, Brandon.
Yeah, they do. And the active hands of Bellevue, they're getting a piece of that ball and then continuing to battle for it, bouncing it off of a Panther out of bounds, giving them the opportunity to come down and at least make it a 1-point game, if not tie it with a 3. Again, beating this full court press is going to be the key for the Blue Devils down the stretch.
And there it is again, all the way in by Osgood. And she's fouled. Smart foul by number 21, Courtney Bellevue. Smart foul.
There was a smart foul, John, and she was just a half step late. I think Bellevue was trying to slide in and even maybe invite Osgood into a player control foul, just not able to get there in time. But nonetheless, you'd rather earn him at the free throw line than give up the easy layup.
First one's up, no good.
Now keeping tabs, John, on that scenario we outlined at the beginning of the game. Thetford with the 14 fouls, sending Williamstown to the line with the next one. Williamstown only at 3. They will have to foul at least 1 more time before they can force Thetford to the line and stop the clock for the rest of the game.
Oh, off the backboard, good. 4-point lead by Thetford. All the way to Spencer. She's going to line it up and drill. No, off, no good. Looked really good. Now she jumps in, gets it. And Thurman Wilder's going to call a timeout. We'll take it 2 with 1:40 left. 1:47 left with Thetford 32 and Williamstown 28. We will be right back.
Granite, coffee, manufacturing,
Williamstown
food.
girls
It's not
basketball
easy to
on
make a living in
TV
Vermont.
723
We really are
and
the bank behind almost
CBTsports.net.
every industry.
Brought
We
to you
care
by
about
Big
businesses
Rock
growing
Landscaping.
and succeeding because that success is our success.
802-793-6607.
We're a billion-dollar bank made up
And
of
by the
thousands
Noel
of small
Johnson
businesses.
Insurance
Our
Company.
customers make fresh coffee for great conversations
Also by
and pull us
Shed
out of the
Seamless
ditch
Gutters,
on a cold, snowy night.
802-272-0095.
Wherever you are laying down your roots, taking a risk,
And
building
by
a
the
dream,
pub on
we're
Main
here.
Street in Williamstown. Good drinks, good food, good friends. And by Elite Real Estate Partners, part of the RE/MAX North Professionals Group, 802-402-4663.
We're back with 1:47 left on the clock. Williamstown trailing by 4. Brandon, both coaches drawing up plays here. What do you think's going on?
At this stage of the game, we just actually remarked, John, during the break that one way to beat the trap if you are the Blue Devils is to fire an outlet pass 3/4 of the court and find a wide open Hannah Spencer, who was able to get a beautiful look at the 3. I think, again, we've been discussing that full court trap is going to be the key. If the Blue Devils can beat that and find those easy transition buckets, it will go well for them here with this last minute and 40 seconds to play. However, they need to take care of the ball.
And good decision to pull the ball out and not go to the rack by Thetford. And they are stalling the clock and moving the ball crisply and quickly. There's the steal. No, look good.
I'm sure during that
Post to
timeout,
Snyder.
Thetford discussed the fact that Williamstown has at least one more foul to give before
Yeah, they're going to come out of this zone here. Up top. Oh, Spencer giving the foul. Still a minute left, Brandon. Still plenty of time. But I would imagine Thetford, Williamstown will come out of this zone.
You could hear Coach Wilder pleading with his team to foul from the bench, and finally Hannah Spencer is able to come up and do so.
Yeah, Spencer's going to be careful. Her fouling night is over.
Yeah, that's her 4th personal foul. Next one she'll be out of the game. But, however, next one will send the Panthers to the free throw line now, and the Blue Devils will be able to get the ball back after a couple of free throws from Thetford. Still sitting back in that zone, John.
Williamstown.
Yep.
Pressure on the ball. Ball comes in, and a timeout by the Thetford coach. And we'll take it to with 38 seconds left with Thetford 32, Williamstown 28.
This game is made possible by CVTV723.org. If you want to support live-streamed Spalding High School sports, please go to CVTV723.org and look for the Donate Now tab.
We're back for the last 38 seconds, and Williamstown making the expected foul. And they will send the Thetford player to the line, and that will be number 14, Rebecca Osgood. Osgood's had a great game tonight. She's been on the boards, plays smooth, makes good decisions.
Coming in off the bench, she's definitely made an impact for her team. Thinking about player of the game, John, we just discussed, though, her sister, Ashlyn, who unfortunately left this game with an injury, has impressed me tonight.
Yeah, Ashlyn's had a great game. 5-point lead by Thetford. Still 36 seconds left. No good. White ball. 34 seconds left. It'll be Williamstown ball. Here comes that Thetford pressure. See if they can make Williamstown turn this ball over. All 5 girls are going to be involved in bringing the ball up the court. Little give and go by Spencer and French. Oh, stolen away. All the way to the rack end. The dagger by number 2, Ruth Brooks. And that's going to make it difficult. Spencer turns, shoots no good. Nearly got the 3 ball. And out comes Rebecca Osgood. And she's fouled by Bellevue, and that will send her to the line.
Great composure by the Panthers here in the late stages of this game, able to not only set up and establish that press, but on the defensive end and not panic when they did get beat,
Right.
cover back, corral the rebound, and then settle things down and draw that foul.
Still 10 seconds left, but a 7-point lead is going to be pretty tough to make up.
Absolutely it will. And
At the line is Rebecca Osgood.
quickly touched on.
Dips for her second. Lays it up, no good. And Bellevue with the rebound. Into French. French all the way to Spencer. Spencer's going to launch it. No good, and that will do it. 4 quarters in the books, and the final score is Thetford 35, Williamstown 28. We saw a great game, Brandon, and one that you probably wouldn't sometimes expect in the opening night, but we were treated to a good one.
Yeah, we were, absolutely, and especially for this young, very young Williamstown Blue Devil team. Getting the experience on opening night to play a close game and face that level of intensity, especially with that full court press set up by the Panthers. Going forward, there's a lot, obviously, the team can work on. However, positives coming out of tonight. I liked what we saw when they made that transition to that 2-3 zone and how they were able to stop the momentum of the Panthers. I think that's something that they can practice with Coach Wilder. Once they stop that baseline penetration of that zone, then they can continue to establish that defense and, you know, it seemingly turned the game around for them in the second quarter tonight, as well as on the offensive end of the ball. The dribble penetration that they had led to those open shots and opportunities that they were able to convert. Good things to come, I believe, for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and Williamstown really led by the Spencer girl, and we're going to see good things from her. I think that we'll definitely see great things from her. But like you said, the intensity of that pressure that Thetford brought in the end of the third and the fourth quarter, they were trapping with 3 defenders, and Williamstown had no answer for it.
And that's a hard look to simulate in a practice environment when you're playing, you know, against just your own team. That level of intensity from a team's top, 5 players is not something that you can easily replicate, and especially when it comes at you in the first game of the season. It was a great effort by the Blue Devils tonight, just coming up short. But again, that experience that they gained in a close game is invaluable going forward.
Player of the game, Brandon?
Again, John, I think that this was an extremely balanced Thetford attack. There were times when Natalie Perry was wowing me, her backcourt mate, Ruth Brooks. But I think the interior presence of Ashlyn Osgood in that third and fourth quarter before she had to exit the contest was a difference maker in the end for me.
So Ashlyn Osgood is our player of the game, and we're going to wrap it up here at Williamstown with Brandon Walker at my right and Garrett Sisley on the camera, and we will see you Thursday night with the game between Williamstown and Randolph. Have a good night.